Hey, I'm Conor McCann. Welcome to our first podcast. I'm with my co-host.
Askjaer Pistolis.
And we have a special guest here today, our TV and video production teacher, Mr. Sasso.
Thanks for having me, guys.
Yeah, thanks for joining us.
Absolutely. Nice to be here.
Yeah. If you want to introduce yourself a little bit,
Yeah, I'm Mr. Sasso. I teach television and video production to these guys. I teach robotics, and I teach video game design at Cohasset, Massachusetts, and I grew up in Cohasset, and now you're a teacher here, and we're here making a podcast.
We're very excited to have you. And
I'm excited to be here.
And we appreciate you taking time out of your day.
Absolutely, anytime.
So, first question, what has been your favorite pick so far this year for fantasy, and why?
My favorite pick. Well, so here's the deal. I have been playing fantasy football for about almost 20 years. And 3 years ago, I've been in the same league that whole time with some guys I used to work with. A couple of years ago, I gave the management of the team up to my nephew Jacob, who's a senior now, because with two kids, I had my son 6 years ago, and I still played fantasy football, but I didn't pay enough attention. Then I had a daughter, and I paid even less attention. And when I play fantasy football, I want to really play it. Like, I'm into it when I do it, like daily looking at what's out there and what's happening, like you guys probably do. I didn't have time to do that, so I let Jacob kind of take over my team. But he did pretty good. Shout out to Jacob, because 2 weeks in a row now, we'll see what happens tonight. I have St. Brown to go, and the other team has the kicker. I'm not going for the win in my league. I've already won because I have like 143 points. The other team was garbage. But in my league, the team that gets the most points each week gets $50. So each week there's a $50 bonus to the team that has the most points.
I like that.
Jacob got it for us last week, and hopefully you get it for us this week too.
Nice.
So, AJ, what has been your favorite pick so far?
Well, I would have to say my favorite pick this year, I don't have a good team, to be honest, but I think Bijan has been a great pick. He could step it up, but he's been consistent for the most part. This week he only scored 16, but he had a great game last week, and yeah, he's been pretty nice.
My favorite pick would probably be Christian McCaffrey. I'm actually surprised he fell to me. His consistency is always just a huge factor in my success. I remember when I had him in 2023, and I did really well. I did really great that year, and he's almost like a guaranteed 20 points every single week. How many running backs can say that? Not many at all. So yeah, I'm very, very happy that Christian McCaffrey fell to me.
Yeah.
What slot did you get him?
I got him at 9.
Wow. Yeah.
Yeah. It's pretty impressive.
Who was someone that you thought you were about to pick before someone else got him, and now you?
Well, we had first pick. Jacob and I had first pick last year, and we got McCaffrey. And then we know how that turned out.
We know what happened there.
So that was a bummer. But I was thinking, same thing you were thinking, healthy, you got a guaranteed 20-something points a week. So I was thinking, because he was injured last year, he probably would fall like he did. And he'd be a nice pickup at, round 9, something like, or, pick number 9, something like that. But we didn't have the pick. We had a higher pick, and Jacob, I think he got St. Brown first, or no. We had the 11th pick. He got Puka.
I have Puka Nacua as well.
Puka Nacua and Amon.
And he's also just Mr. Consistency. He had 11 catches for 112 yards this week.
Then we got him and Amon. St. Brown at 11 and 14.
It's a pretty good wide receiver duo.
Yeah, and I said to Jacob, I think it was 2 years ago now, if you were not getting the top guy, if McCaffrey was top guy last year, and we had spot number 1, but the year before that, since the past 3 years, I've been saying wide receivers. You're just guaranteed. If you get there was a couple more in the wide receiver pool that you would know we're going to get a certain amount of targets, and the running back position nowadays is so up and down. When I started playing 20 years ago, it was all running backs first round all the time. Yeah.
Well, now the league's more passing.
Way more passing.
Yeah. On the topic of all the fantasy teams, how's everyone performed so far this week? I know it's Monday, so we still have one more game. to play. But so far, how's everyone been?
So far, I am beating Jake Iandoli, but he does have Jameer Gibbs and Zay Flowers. But I'm still winning by 32 points, so I'm hoping that I beat Jake. I'm projected to lose. I'm at a 46% chance of winning. He's at a 54% chance of winning. But I think I'm going to pull out the win this week.
What about you, Mr. Saza?
Like I said already, my team killed it this week. Although the other team did do well. They got 121 points, but I had 143. And that's, I think we're going to be 2-1 because we lost first week, yeah. So we're doing okay.
Well, I lost this week. Unless Sam Laporta can score 40 points, then I lost. Yeah, Breece Hall hasn't been a good pick for me this year. Also, I have Joe Burrow injured, so it just wasn't looking good. And then I also picked Rashee Rice with his 6-game suspension. So my receivers this week, A.J. Brown and Drake London. A.J. Brown actually had himself a good game. Drake London, he's been inconsistent, so I can't say the same for him. But Travis Hunter is my flex as well. Just they haven't been putting up the points I need, so this week just wasn't a great week for me. Yeah. So, Mr. Sasso.
Yeah.
What is your favorite memory of playing fantasy with your family or friends?
Good
or
question.
Whoever?
I think the memory that sticks out the most, I don't know if it's favorite, it's bittersweet. But in 2007, when the Patriots went undefeated, their undefeated season, I had Brady on my team, and I went undefeated the whole year up until semifinals, and he played against the Jets that week at home, but it was a rainy game. The weather was bad. I was thinking I wasn't going to play him, but he had led the league the whole year. So you're never going to sit that guy, even though sometimes your gut's telling you this is not the day to play your stud. But I played him and I lost. I didn't get to the Super Bowl. I was undefeated. I had the most points in the league. At that time, we weren't paying out to the most points in the league, which was unfortunate. So it's bittersweet. The other memory I have about that season is I tried to trade. What did I try to trade for?
Good luck remembering. What was this?
It was Randy Moss.
Randy
I tried to raise. He was the one who Brady was throwing all the touchdowns to that year.
Yeah.
Incredible touchdowns, down the field every game. It was crazy. Yeah. If I had him, everyone knew he got vetoed. So I was going to trade two running backs for Moss, and then the rest of the players vetoed the trade.
Yeah, he was a freak.
Yeah.
He got 23 touchdowns that year. Tom Brady had 50.
Yeah, it was incredible.
On the catch.
It's almost half his touchdowns for Randy Moss.
I still wouldn't have made it to the Super Bowl though, even if I had got Moss, because that game he didn't get any touchdowns.
It's unfortunate. Follow up on AJ's question. Have you ever won a championship, Mr. Seth?
Yeah, I have. I've won the championship, and like I said, now we pay to the most points, the team with the most points through the regular season and playoffs, which I always argued for. I think the team with the most points at the end of the entire season was the best team in your league. The best team in the league doesn't necessarily go to the Super Bowl because you might play another team when they have their stud week on the semifinals, like I did in 2007. So I was, we used to have it where first place got some money, then second place got some money, and I even 1 year third place got some money. I thought it was silly that second and third place were getting money.
Yeah,
it should be Super Bowl champ and points leader. So we made that change, and I got Super Bowl champ. I went to the Super Bowl 3 times. I won twice, and I got most points twice as well.
I like that system.
Yeah, it's much better. And the $50 a week. We can only do the $50 a week if the buy-in's enough. So now that I'm old and have a consistent paycheck, when I was young I couldn't do this, but it's a $150 buy-in. So you get $50 per week, which is nice because each week you have something you're betting on. Your team might win $50, and then the Super Bowl winner gets $600, and the team leader gets $600 the points later.
I like that. So, switching the topic here a little bit, we all know that you grew up here in New England, more specifically in Cohasset, and that you're a Patriots fan. So, what would you say your favorite memory of the Patriots is, and why?
Well,
and what do you think of the Patriots so far this year?
Good question. And I'll have to give some background. I'm sort of a Patriots fan. I know that.
Sort of.
For you, that works because you're not a Patriots fan.
Yeah, that works for me.
My parents are from New York. My father is a diehard Jets fan. Unfortunately for him,
Unfortunately.
he was alive when they won the Super Bowl in 1969 with Joe Namath, and he was like 7 years old, and it was amazing. And since then, he's had nothing. Yeah, but since then he's had nothing. So I didn't grow up in a household where it was like go Patriots or let's go to Patriots games, and if anything, they're the rivals. So I am a Pats fan, but I can be a bandwagon fan because I'm not diehard. So now that they're not very good, I lived when I was a kid, they weren't good, and then went through that era of just championships after championships. The kids that grew up in that era only knew the Patriots as that team.
Yeah.
I grew up earlier where I knew them to be bad.
Yeah, like the 90s, they were
Right,
awful.
in the 80s and 90s, and then they got good and they were awesome, and now they're not so good anymore. So I feel bad for the people that haven't felt losses like this before in New England, but those of us that are old enough know what it feels like.
Yeah, so this week, yesterday, the Patriots just lost to the Steelers 21-14. Drake May had 268 yards, 2 touchdowns, 1 interception. Passing, Drake May was the leading rusher today with 7 carries for 45 yards. So AJ and Mr. Sesso. So how do you see the Patriots improving? Because they're starting off 1-2, and honestly, a lot of people didn't expect that in the Vrabel era. So.
Right. It's strange just hearing you say those numbers from a Patriots player like this Patriot. The leading runner was...
The leading runner
was
Drake May.
What do you think?
Yeah, well, I mean, as a Steelers defense owner, I'm not upset.
Yeah.
But, I don't know, the Patriots, they were talked high of. I know with Drake May, this being his second year, he might have improved with more weapons, but I don't know. I don't see it happening, to be honest. Their offense doesn't look that great. And also going up against a really good defense with TJ Watt and Jalen Ramsey, to be honest, I didn't think they would win this week. So
Yeah, it's good that at least I'm seeing Drake May take a step in his progression, because if you guys remember, Mac Jones took a step back in he actually regressed in his sophomore year and eventually in his junior year. So it's good that Drake May is so far, that he won't take that step back. It doesn't look like he's going to be taking that step back. Because, if you compare him to his counterpart, Aaron Rodgers, he played him this week. Aaron Rodgers went 16 of 23, 139 yards, 2 touchdowns, 1 interception. The leading receiver was Calvin Austin with 3 receptions and 34 yards for the Steelers. So, but, they still eked out a win. They got no rushing ability. Travion Henderson, I thought he'd be better. He's from Ohio State, and my dad went to Michigan, so
not a big fan.
I'm not a big fan of him. But if your leading receiver is Hunter Henry and your second leading receiver is Ramondre Stevenson, there's obviously some problems on the offensive front that definitely need to be fixed. But I'm actually just personally okay because Drake May doesn't seem to be taking that step back that Mac Jones took or CJ Stroud.
And honestly, I think Patriots, if they go even 8-9 this year with barely a losing record, that's definitely an improvement.
Yeah, for sure.
Even if they don't have an outstanding year, I think they will get somewhere by going, whether it's 7-10 or 8-9.
Yeah, for sure. To bring up CJ Stroud, CJ Stroud just got outplayed by Trevor Lawrence, and the Houston Texans are currently 0-3. CJ Stroud, he's definitely taken a step back from his rookie year.
Yeah.
This week, he had 204 yards, 1 touchdown, but he had 2 interceptions, and I just really hope Drake May doesn't turn out to be what CJ Stroud looks like he's turned out to be.
And to be completely honest with you, Jags defense, they're not bad at all. They actually have a solid defense, so I think to add on the Texans just not playing good at all this season, it just really helped the Jags win that. But
yeah. How about the Colts starting off 3-0 with Daniel Jones as their quarterback? Maybe it's a fluke, maybe it's nothing, but they faced 3 not very good teams, but starting off 3-0, I certainly didn't expect this. Daniel Jones was the New York Giants quarterback for 6 years. He had 1 kind of good year, but these past 2 seasons, he was awful. But was it his fault? Maybe not. Maybe this is just a fluke. But AJ, Mr. Chessa, what are your thoughts on this?
I just like seeing stuff like that where
Yeah, me too.
you're not expecting
Daniel
it.
Jones seems like a nice guy.
Like Daniel Jones winning three games with the Colts and the Chiefs getting beat a lot. I like seeing something like that happen once in a while.
Yeah.
I like mixing it up and
I like changing it.
right, and give someone another chance on another team and see what happens. Like clearly, he will either it's a fluke, like you said, and he's riding a lucky streak, or he just meshes better. He didn't mesh well in New York.
He had a lot of offensive coordinators, a lot of different coaches, so he obviously wasn't given a great situation.
Yeah,
but
so see what he can do.
yeah, see what he can do.
I also like the Chargers this year. I'm glad that Justin Herbert is finally starting to get his groove on. I think he's a great quarterback.
I wouldn't quite put it like that. He's definitely had his groove on, but the Chargers in general, starting off 3-0, is definitely an improvement.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Especially against that Broncos defense. That's impressive.
yeah,
So
yeah. Another quarterback that I'd like to talk about is Jalen Hurts. So far, statistically, I mean, he's just not having that good of a season, but the Eagles are still 3-0. I've been talking about this with my friend Oliver. I mean, is Jalen Hurts really like that amazing of a quarterback? He's proven that he can show up in the big games. He's shown up in both Super Bowls where he played really great, especially in that first one where he lost. But I mean, he's got the best defense, best offensive line, best running back. Top 3, maybe 5. Wide receiver core. I mean, like he's got all the help in the world. So I'm thinking, if you put Jane Daniels in where Jalen Hurts is. Do the Eagles go back to back, or are they going to go back to back anyway with Jalen Hurts? What are your thoughts on that?
To be honest, Eagles are a weird team for me. I know Jalen Hurts is a great quarterback. AJ Brown had a great week, but with the tush push stuff, I don't know how I feel about that. To be honest, I think if the Eagles didn't have the tush push, they wouldn't be where they are right now, and that's my opinion on it. I think. Because I know, like, probably a third, maybe, of Jalen Hurts' touchdowns are a tush push at the 1 yard line. So, I don't know. Some people want to ban it. I don't really have an opinion on it yet. It's just it can be unfair because I know against the Chiefs there was some controversy about the center, about offsides and whatnot because. It's so hard for the refs to see it just because everyone's bunched up together. So, yeah, I mean, I think at this point it might be the best bet just to completely get rid of it.
Yeah, you raise a great question. Mr. Sess, do you think this tush push should get banned? I like to weigh in before he answers that. I think absolutely not. I think you should just figure out a way to stop it instead of just whining and complaining. But that's just my personal opinion because nothing of what they're doing is illegal, right?
I agree with you. It's always been a thing for as long as I can remember. It's a pile on the line of scrimmage lots of times anyways. And you just, it's part of the game. It seems like it's part of the game. And, Hurts clearly benefits from those type of things. However, and he did well yesterday, but how many touchdowns did he throw in the previous 2 games?
0.
Okay.
Well, I know, and didn't he have a tush push touchdown?
He did, yeah. So the only points he had were on the ground before, like the tush push ones, right?
Got 3 touchdowns yesterday.
But 3 yesterday, and no interceptions, right?
No interceptions.
No, that's not bad. So, but so the first 2 games of fluke, or is he turning a corner now? Because he didn't throw any. He had points. He was on the board, but he didn't throw any touchdowns. Until yesterday.
Games? No, he didn't. I just think it's definitely hard to evaluate him because, like I said, he's got literally.
He's one of those players, right?
But I mean, to me, he's been able to show up in big moments.
Yeah, and he's a fantastic athlete, and it's just
But I mean, with what you said about how it's always been a thing, if you would have asked me last year, I would have agreed with you. But now, because of the no calls and the controversy with the Chiefs and, some of the cheating with that, I don't know how I feel about it anymore. Just because if you look at some of the replays, you can actually see their center is just completely over the ball.
Yeah, it's so hard to tell, like you said, for the line ref.
Yeah.
When it's a matter of sometimes less than an inch. But yeah, I mean, it's a tough one. It's either, and then what do you got? So then you'll have the whole defense stacking the middle.
Exactly.
And then you got to be afraid that the offense is faking a tush push and they're going to dump it out to a receiver real quick.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't know. I mean, I don't think it's that big a deal that I think we should spend too much time. It's either going to go one way or the other, and everyone's going to have to live with it. And,
Yeah. I mean, honestly, most of the people that complain about it are the people that lose to it.
Yeah, exactly.
I don't
Right.
think an Eagles fan is going to say
No, I agree.
wanting to get rid of it.
So as we mentioned before about Mac Jones taking a step back, Brock Purdy is currently injured right now, and Mac Jones is 2-0 as the 49ers quarterback. Let's see, and Bill Belichick is. I'm sorry, I don't even know his record at UNC, but he's got his 24-year-old girlfriend on the sideline. Like, his girlfriend is young enough to be dating his actual players. So, so Mac Jones, 2-0 start. Once again, 49ers, good situation around him. But he's doing it without George Kittle. He does obviously have Christian McCaffrey, but his leading receiver was Ricky Pershaw, who was a first-round pick last year. 8 receptions, 117 yards. 49ers are also 3-0 with many, many injuries. AJ, do you think they have a shot at winning it all this year?
I mean,
In a tough NFC.
for most of the time that I've been alive, 49ers have always been a solid team for the most part. They always have some years. But with Mac Jones being their starting quarterback, for now, we know how that usually should go, knowing Mac Jones. But they look good with him. Even without Brock Purdy and George Kittle, they still look like a solid team. Christian McCaffrey, of course. And, they have a great defense, like usual. I don't know if Fred Warner, did he have a good game? Or
He had a great pass breakup on Kyler Murray. And then eventually the 49ers took a safety because offensive lineman held in the end zone.
So I feel like they always have a strong defense.
Yeah, for sure.
Especially with Fred Warner on that team.
So, Mr. Sasso, my final question would be, who do you have winning tonight, the Lions or the Ravens? Because, once again, I'm facing off against Jake Eindoli, who has Jameer Gibbs and Zay Flowers. So, who do you think is going to win tonight?
Interesting. I'm going to go with Lions. I'm going Detroit. I've wanted Detroit to, continue their upward trend that they've had over the past couple of years. They were really bad for a long time, and I like seeing those teams come back and just kind of. I like seeing the league fluctuate. I don't like seeing dynasties that last 10 years. Although when it was cool was when it was in New England and we watched it, for 2 decades. But I like to see the most powerful teams kind of switch from time to time, and lower teams come up and upper teams come down and all that good stuff. Yeah.
AJ, who do you have winning the Lions? Or the Ravens?
I completely agree with Mr. Sasso about the team switching part. But if I have to say who I think is going to win, I would have to say the Ravens. I think Lamar Jackson, I think he's the best quarterback in the league right now. I mean, he's outstanding. Derrick Henry, he's outstanding. They also have a good defense this year, except against the Bills. Won't talk about that, but yeah, I definitely could see the Ravens winning. Isaiah Likely, I think he's very underrated tight end. I like the way he plays, and I could see them winning.
So both teams had a bad first game, kind of, or especially the Lions. They had a bad first game against the Packers, but they really responded in a positive way against the Bears. But it's the Bears, so I didn't really need to ask. But
Same Bears that beat the Cowboys, though. Don't forget about that.
Yeah, but it's the Cowboys, so
Yeah, sure.
it's not that. They barely beat the Giants. So.
Continue.
Okay, and I would pick the Baltimore Ravens to win because once again I feel like Lamar Jackson, Derrick Henry, they're just gonna run all over them.
Yeah.
It's probably going to happen. I just want it to go the other way.
Yeah. Well, AJ, do you have anything else on that?
No, I'm good, but thank you for joining us.
Yeah,
Mr. Sasso.
absolutely.
It's been
Great
a
to be
pleasure.
here.
It was a pleasure.
You guys did a great job. Thanks for all the great questions.
Yeah, no problem.
Thank you. All right, well, to continue, now that we don't have Mr. Sasso, Vikings-Bengals game. How about Isaiah Rodgers?
Yeah, he had probably one of the greatest cornerback individual games of all time. I mean, I have the stats right here. He had 2 defensive touchdowns and forcing 2 fumbles, with one of the fumbles leading to another score, and an interception. He's the first NFL player to do this since 1991. I mean, He was super underrated when he was on the Colts. I mean, once I said like he had one of the greatest quarterback games ever, and this is why I think Joe Burrow should have won MVP last year. Last year, Josh Allen won MVP. I'm okay with that. Josh Allen had a great season last year, but MVP stands for most valuable player. I think the Bengals without Joe Burrow are significantly worse than the Bills without Josh Allen. I think your teammates and just the level of your teammates should play into a factor of MVP. Because yes, you're right. Joe Burrow does have Jamar Chase, but once again, the Bengals just lost 48-10 without Joe Burrow.
Yeah.
The team falls apart without Joe Burrow. The team would fall apart without Josh Allen. I'm not denying that. But 48-10 in Joe Burrow's first week out.
I mean, have the Bengals? I don't think in my lifespan the Bengals have ever been good without Joe Burrow. To be completely honest, I mean, Jamar Chase, 5 receptions, 50 yards, and a fumble. It's not good without Joe Burrow. The team looks nasty, and I mean, Noah Fant was the second receiving leader. Who was Noah Fant?
He was the former Broncos type.
I couldn't tell you who Noah Fant is.
Also, just to add in, the Vikings did it with Carson Wentz as the quarterback because J.J. McCarthy is injured, who went to Michigan and once again, my dad went to Michigan, so I'm a huge fan of J.J. McCarthy. I
love J.J. McCarthy. I'm a Clemson fan. I love J.J. McCarthy. So,
as in for my fantasy quarterback, I have Baker Mayfield, and he had 17.772 points. The Bucs barely beat the Jets, 29-27. They won on a last-second field goal. I also had the Bucs defense because I knew Justin Fields was out this week with concussion. It was a great game. I expected the Bucs to do better, but that's fine. I mean, Bucky Irving had 25 carries for 66 yards. That's an average of 2.6. That's not exactly the greatest. But Mecca Ibuka, he went to Ohio State. I knew he was going to be good. I watched him play against Michigan, and he had 100 and something. I'm mad at myself. I don't know the exact stats, but he had 100 and something yards in the 2023 game against Michigan. I remember watching him that guy's going to be really good in the NFL. And so far as a rookie, he's doing well. He's probably the best rookie wide receiver through week 3. He could just fall off a cliff, but this 3 week stint has been very promising for him.
Yeah. To continue about the Bucs game, Baker Mayfield, 233 yards, 19 completions. He looks good. Me personally, Baker Mayfield might be one of my favorite quarterbacks in the league. I love the guy. I don't think anyone honestly could hate him unless you don't like the Bucs. He's a solid quarterback. I think he's definitely one of the more underrated. They also with Bucky Irving, I think he's also one of the more underrated running backs in the league. But Emeka Egbuka, he's incredible. I love him. I love everything about the Bucs. I'm glad they're having a good year, starting off 3-0. Anything to add on?
Baker Mayfield is just what Johnny Manziel wanted to be, or what people wanted Johnny Manziel to be. I got nothing to add on more to this game. But to switch over to the Chiefs-Giants game, which we haven't talked about, Sunday Night Football. We watched that last night. The Chiefs finally getting their first win of the season. Patrick Mahomes, he's doing all right. He's not doing crazy 2018 through 2022 Patrick Mahomes level. He's throwing for 224 yards with 1 touchdown. He is missing his top 2 wide receivers in Xavier Worthy and Rashee Rice. And Travis Kelce's just not good anymore.
Yeah. What happened to him?
He's just getting old. Just
took out his own teammate and everything.
He took out his own team. Yeah.
But Isaiah Pacheco was their leading rusher, 10 carries.
The first time so far this season that Patrick Mahomes wasn't the leading rusher for his team.
Yeah. 10 carries for 45 yards. Not amazing stats, averaging 4.5 yards a carry. And then we have
2 former Patriot receivers as the leading receivers.
Yeah, Tyquan Thornton. I don't think anyone had him on their team or at least not starting. But
And
Juju.
another former Patriots player, 4 receptions for 55 yards.
Yeah.
2 former Patriots players, seem to be doing well. Russell Wilson, he had 450 passing yards last week. This week he had 160 with 2 interceptions. People were literally screaming, "Put Dart in," during the timeout.
I mean, Russell Wilson might be one of the most inconsistent players right now. I can't lie, just because of that. I mean, I miss 2013 Russell. That was just a time to live in. But yeah, he's old obviously now. I think his career is coming to an end within the next 2 or 3 years. Cam Scadaboo, he didn't have the most amazing game, but when he got the ball, he was incredible. He's an absolute tank. Yeah.
I like watching him against.
He literally just bounces off people. It's incredible. But yeah, I mean, this game was just not the most fun game to watch. But yeah.
Yeah, but I mean, you got to put Chiefs on prime time. So, what are your overall thoughts on Travis Kelce?
My overall thoughts on Travis Kelce aren't good thoughts. To be honest, even when he was a good tight end, I didn't like him. In my opinion, he's always had a big ego for something that isn't that impressive, especially now. But yeah, I think also with him and Taylor Swift, it's all attention stuff. But
yeah,
obviously 4 receptions for 26 yards is not impressive. So I think he had his time, but if I were him, I honestly would just retire with all the money he has now and just
especially marrying a billionaire.
yeah, especially with Taylor Swift.
He doesn't have to worry.
Yeah, he's good.
At all,
He's set.
I'm not a big fan of him for multiple reasons. Once again, I consider him kind of just like a meathead, ego.
Exactly. Agreed.
But also, I don't know if you saw this during the Eagles game, he wore a shirt that said "Free for." Maybe we can put it up on there. And what he's indicating is freeing number 4, aka his teammate Rashee Rice. Rashee Rice was driving 120 miles per hour on a highway, smashed into multiple cars, injured multiple people, and fled the scene. In doing so, he got a 30-day sentence in jail, 5 years probation, and a 6-game suspension from the NFL. What are we freeing him from? He's literally just facing the consequences for his actions.
What college did Rashee Rice go to? Do you know?
SMU, that might not be correct, but SMU.
Well, I was gonna say whatever college he did go to was some University of Georgia stuff right there, but I don't know. That is a pretty ridiculous shirt to be wearing considering the actions he performed. He definitely could have. He got lucky that he didn't. But yeah.
Yeah, so I think that's it for today. Thank you guys for watching our podcast. We'll see you later.